Well, SASON is not the only organization coming out to cry out over the economic hardship of the country. Catholic Bishops Conference of Nigeria has warned that Nigerians' economic hardship, insecurity, and youth unemployment have reached alarming levels despite recent government reforms. The bishops expressed grave concern over rising poverty, food inflation, kidnappings, and the deplorable state of correctional facilities, calling for urgent and decisive action to address the crisis. The warning came during the 2025 first plenary meeting of the CBCN held at the Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria in Abuja on Sunday. They urged the government to tackle the root causes of economic hardship and insecurity, emphasizing that millions of Nigerians are suffering under extreme conditions of poverty and fear. Archbishop Ugoji acknowledged some government economic and fiscal reforms, such as road rehabilitation and student loan scheme and debt servicing reduction. Palliatives and temporal relief programs are not enough. We need sustainable solutions that address the root causes of economic hardship, they stated. The bishops also raised alarms over worsening insecurity, with violent attacks by Boko Haram, bandits, and unknown gunmen increasing nationwide. They noted that kidnappings for ransom have escalated, with religious leaders among the latest targets. Well, talking about the religious leaders situation, recently two members abducted, a particular member abducted two different, I think two members had the connive to abduct two different priests from a particular church. So it's not like because of a religious stand that they are exempted from the insecurity and whatever, like you mentioned, the economic hardship going on in the country. You know, for the question now is bishops, these are strong religious leaders, because then the Catholic, it was one church, one of the first church that was recognized in Nigeria. I'm not talking about the whole world in Africa large. I'm talking about Nigeria. You know, so then we had this reverence towards them, and then they're not the types that want to, you know, come to the public and make certain statements like this. You know, this kind of call would also, you know, be considered as a critical situation, because it's more like the whole thing is affecting them. Probably the offerings that used to be rendered to the particular church is no longer coming as it used to. You know, certain things, personal reasons, if I may say. But I'd love to get your thoughts on this quickly, Barrister Mankey, please, or what you have to say concerning this.
Well, I have respect for the Catholic bishop's position. They are flying the altitude of my mind. My mind and theirs are flying on a common altitude. You listen to the language you use there. Step that we address the root cause. That is it. If you are not addressing the base and you are busying yourself about superstructure, you are a deceiver. It's as simple as that. And you know, this government is pursuing the twin principle of feudalism. And the twin principle of feudalism are poverty and ignorance. These are the twin principles that this present government is pursuing. And I say this to you. You see, it does not matter. Let me give you an example. It's like a professor, for whatever reason, despite his training, exposure, and learning, now decides to go and marry an illiterate girl in hope that he will be able to control her.
Yes.
Oh my God. The day she will manifest, the professor will feel like asking the ground to open to take him. Do you understand it? That is exactly what is playing out in the Nigerian situation. And that is what this government think is playing around. See, no matter how educated you are, if you are a victim of poverty, I mean physical poverty,
True.
Your brain will migrate from thinking significance to survivor.
Yes.
And the moment you are on the lane of survivor, a lot of things that have value will crash. Do Do you understand?
True.
Anything will go. You see young ladies you have respect for going into lifestyles, questionable lifestyle. You see people ordinarily that will not steal. People that will ordinarily, they cannot see a forgotten money and turn their eyes,
yes,
or look back twice. Look around whether there's somebody, so they will pick the money, whether the 1,000 naira note. Ready to damn the consequences. A lot of people that are going into so many things. The same thing down to lecturers. Lecturers are ready. They are even telling students, just pay money. Come on.
And you don't have
the
to
system is
study.
gone. The system is gone. I'm telling you.
Okay, if you have to look at SASO, like I stated, has come out to cry out over the economic degradation in the country. Coming from Catholic bishops, like I stated about the reverends we are called them, you know, coming out to the open in public over the situation of the country to speak of as religious leaders. I know other religious leaders have actually come to make statements on this. I want us to look out on that angle.
See,
you know, the facts that they're the ones that actually.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. This analysis I was giving, nobody can escape it. Do you understand it? It's universal. Nobody can escape it.
Okay.
These Catholic bishops you are hearing about are seeing the poverty reflecting in their structure, in everything about them. They can see it in their members because they deal with their members.
Okay.
They know what they are passing through. In fact, I can tell you it will even reflect in the offering in the church. Do you understand it? This is the reality that we are all in. Now, some people will tell you, oh, they are men of God. They are supposed to stay out of politics. And I say to anybody saying that, you know my usual prayer, may Nigeria happen to that person. And if Nigeria happen to you, just pray that you survive it. It's very, very unfortunate what is going on. For a government that opens the gate, that openly supports terrorists against its citizens. Look, I expect the church, it will get to a point the church should call out its members. Right? And we will march on the street and tell the government enough is enough. You see, Nigerians can grind to a halt this government. Go to the barracks. How much are the security agents earning? Go to the road. What you see manifesting, the audacious impunity with which our brothers and sisters who belong to security agents that are migrated now into what I prefer, for lack of better explanation, to call government-approved armed robbers. What is pushing them into this? If you interact with them, it's not as if they do not know that such money don't have any value. They know the consequences of collecting money under gunpoint, that it will not end well with you. Even the future of the children you want to use that money to train. But they have no alternative. In the light of realities, they go to the same market. You know now, the government is deploying security agents to kill the enterprising youth of the oil-producing areas who are into parallel refining.
If we have to go on that part, Barrister Mankey, if we have to go on that part of youths, you know, engaging in, you said, what did you say?
I said parallel refinery.
Parallel refinery,
yes.
But they call it illegal refinery.
Let me say this to you.
And they have, most times, they destroy most of those goods that this youth, you know, engage in the goods that they do. Also times we're saying that they break into a particular region, you know, confiscating most of this crude that this youth has actually engaged in, you know, in that instance. I know you've made the statement before of the government, instead of arresting them or destroying them, if the case may be, they should partner with them, if that's the word. I don't know if I got your word rightly, you know, engage with them in order to refine these goods rightly in the natural processes. I do not see if that's a real thing to do, because if we feel that is a way forward, why has the government not engaged in it?
The simple reason is that the government don't have the people that act.
So are you trying to say that if the government will actually decide to, you know, join this youth that engage in the Spalareal refinery, in that instance, it's going to help or probably is the higher rates of fuel scarcity in the country.
Let me say this to you. Depending on where we focus, we learn every day.
Yes.
I've told you, the economic holocaust that is confronting Nigeria now is deliberate and man-made. The petroleum minister, Bola Tinubu, is behind it. He has some co-economic travelers who are traveling on the volatile highway of economics. They are working together. And I have predicted that it is in the oil and gas industry that most of the stolen funds in this country were put. And so if you allow the interplay, there is no nation of the world that abandoned its area of comparative economic advantage. No nation. Ask anywhere. No nation does it except Nigeria. Except Nigeria. And as I'm speaking to you, in my capacity as a notary public of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, I can tell you for free that all other regions of this country that have mineral resources, they are being mined free of charge without account to the government. Quote me anywhere. That is what is going on. It is only the oil and gas, because it is in an area of minorities. They use unequal law to steal it from their owners. And instead of collaborating with this youth, because the way these things work is that.
Okay, collaboration, yes that's what.
Instead of collaborating with them, which is what is legitimately expected in the circumstance, which is the global standard. Instead of collaborating with this youth or empowering them.
And, rather collaborating with them and legalize it in that instance.
Yeah, that's it. Do you understand it? Okay, when the government came into office, till now, even if they were importing modular refineries by wheelbarrow, it will arrive in Nigeria. It will tell you that the government has a kind of plan that it is protecting. And the only way forward, like I gave you an example, you should ask yourself, you say you are interested in my future, and then you are allowing terrorists to come from another country, not that they are Nigerians. The government knows that they are foreigners. Even the security agents are helpless because they have instruction from the power that be.
But they said they are working towards curbing insecurity.
Working towards what? Is fraud. Take it from me that I say it's a fraud. Right now that I'm talking to you, the game that is going on, these foreign terrorists, they are coming with their families, and then they will just raise their hand. And security agents will come out to tell us rubbish by saying that they are applying kinetic and whatever they want to describe, and that the rule of engagement is that when somebody surrenders, that you don't kill the fellow, and they are reintegrating them. I hope you hear that government is trying to do census so as to count these people and make them Nigerians. Until Nigerians rise up, because what is going on now, let me give you a warning sign. What is going on now, the government is ready, and it is the Supreme Court of Nigeria that this present government is relying on to use it for anything that they want to achieve, and they will tell you that the highest court, unless the people rise up and say enough of this nonsense, it will continue, and they will use it to bring down anybody.
So no matter who comes to speak up, even though the kids of 3 years can come down the streets and cry out over the economic degradation in the country, nothing will be done about it.
Nothing will be done unless and until the people. See, you may not understand really what is happening to people. Majority of Nigerians are dying from avoidable causes. Have you been to chemist? Yesterday I went to buy Aboniki Balm, 1,000 naira. You know it now. It has a stable bottle. It's not the way I know it. It's usually in that stable bottle. It's 1,000 naira. That's it. If just pray that God should be merciful to you and you should not be sick. Amen. That's when you will understand the reality on the ground. You get to a standard chemist, apart from something hovering around you, is the drug fake? Apart from that one, that's because that one is psychological. Apart from that one, when they will mention the amount of the money for the drug and how long you are supposed to take that drug, you will just give up. Except you have a strong psyche and you have made up your mind that you are going to survive against all odds. Because the first battlefield is psychology.
Yes.
The moment you sink psychologically, you are gone. And that's what's happening to majority of Nigeria. Check the rate at which people are dying. You just hear that this person fell sick, the next thing. And the way it is becoming so normal, the people will just tell you, Che, sorry, oh. And people move on. They don't give a damn. Because to them, look at when the terrorists struck at Benue, like the Catholic community, they were at the front burner. They were doing exotic burial first. They would do motorcade, put the caskets, and then they will go and bury. It moved from that stage. I'm a lawyer. I can tell you, there used to be a time that the court system used to have a glory, what we call aura. That glory is gone. Ask those who are involved, the player, they will tell you that glory is gone. In Port Harcourt here, if they ask you to cross the court to Moscow Road, you would rather use the post office and central bank rather than use the court. Because there used to be a glory. All that is gone. And the question is, what is the way forward? Which is the solution to this? We don't need rocket science as the solution to it. Two plunge to it. Tackle insecurity and tackle the economic front. These two things. Allow our military men, they have what it takes. It is the commander-in-chief's instruction that is the last on the table. If the body language of the commander-in-chief says, don't touch the terrorists, and that's what is playing out, they cannot. If the commander-in-chief had the interest of Nigerians and say, NNPCL, we had a date with Nigerians that before we remove subsidy, all the refineries must be functional and producing. So I give you 1 month, make this refinery functional, right? And they will make it functional. It doesn't require rocket science. Okay, the ones that are there are bad. Build new modular refineries. They can build modular refineries in all the states, and they'll be functional. We have enough crude oil in this country. See, let me tell you, those who are enjoying, benefiting from this unjust system, they should wait. Like I told you, what is going on? There are people who are benefiting from this evil. Like those who gather around IBB. There are people who benefited from this in Lagos, who are supporting the Taos, the Agberos, and the rest of them. You can see them going from time to time. The same thing, that's what this government is doing. That is what is sought to be done in Rivers State. If you see people come out to talk, listen to them, hear beyond them, you will notice that this is the kind of cabal that they want to build, and turn the commonwealth of the people from the people into the hands of few criminal minds.
Thank you so much.
In preparation for coming election. But that election may not come.
Thank you so much.
Unless Nigerians are not tired of the suffering.
Thank you on that. Bye.